In the last video, I showed you how to create this elevation, bring in the grids, set up the elevation callouts, make the roof flashing, line up with the line up the windows, and to show a porch. In this video tutorial, I'm going to try to complete this, but if I run short on time, then we'll have to do a part 3 of this video. So let's begin. Okay. The last thing that I did was to bring in this grid. So what I'm going to do, it's been shifted out slightly. So I'll just select one of the grids. I'll select all, then I'll move them into place. Now the next thing that I'll do is simply bring my grids up so that they finish over here. Now if you think that polar tracking, if you think that this mode is actually not good enough for you, what you can do is you can turn on auto mode. So you can do that by either clicking on F8, and you'll see that this one lights up, and when you click on F8 it exits. So to turn on auto mode, you click on F8 or you click here. To turn on this, you have to click on F10 or you click here. So I'll turn on auto mode, then I'll just simply drag all my lines up without any worry or hesitation, because I know that all my lines will be tracking orthogonally straight. It will be very hard for me to move the lines here and there. And since this looks to be a bit inconsistent with this one, what I'll do is simply select this over here and move this out slightly so that both the sides look neat and consistent, like so. Now what I'll do is select this as well, select all my windows and move them up at a distance temporarily. So I'll use a 10,000 millimeters of spacing between the actual size. There you go. Now what I'll do here is simply draw a polyline there to there, and that will represent our follower. And then I'll put this to a hidden line. You can use this, so you can set up your own outline or hidden line. So what I'll do is I'll just click on the layer and put it onto its respective layer. Outline. And then if you wish, you can change this property and then put a hidden line there, because this line will not show up. It is important, but it will not show up. Okay. Now what I'll do is I'll type H for H, then press enter. I'm going to H the wall elevation. Then I'll click on settings, wait for a window to pop up. Then I'll click on inherit properties. Then I'll go to the layer that I had already drawn. Go to the elevation that I had already drawn. Click on that layer, click on the H, and just H it like so. One there and one here. And as you can see that your H has been drawn properly. Your building has now been H'd. Now what I'll need to do is simply draw a FISA board around here. So what I'll do is I'll just type REC for rectangle, click on this diagonal, then click on this diagonal and move this up like so. Then I'll click on one of the lines excuse me, and I'll add another distance of 100 mm or whatever the distance you have set up. Now why I did that was because this is 150, and when I pulled it down to 100 mm, the distance between these two lines will now be 250 mm, the size of my FISA board. We'll type H for H again, then click on settings, then click on inherit properties. Go back to the same elevation, click on one of your click on the FISA board H and simply put it in here like so. And then I'll select this Click M for move and just move it here, and that is our line of FISA board. Now it's not that low. I've shown it in the elevation that it's that low, but it's not actually that low. Just to manipulate the view so that it looks like an actual FISA board, I put it there accordingly. Right. Now that you have done that, what you can do is either bring these guys down, or you can do some more changes in here, such as let's hatch this column. H for hatch. Now, if you are doing a similar color, you don't have to actually hatch and then do settings, then go back. You can just simply click on hatch and it will recall that color for you. And I'll put this color on this side of the column. The front I'll put culture tiles or stone wall tiles. In the sides I will put a paint finish. Or you can put whatever you think is right. Then what I'll do is I'll simply go back to the other elevation, copy out one of my hand railings, the selection is a bit of a headache. It's easier to group so that you can copy and paste later on when it's important, and paste that over here. Then what I'll do is select this, and then I'll ungroup them and press enter and accept. Copy one of the hand railings downwards, then move these guys, mirror this one the other way, and move this one up. Bring it over here, then take this line, click over here, and paste it over there. Then I'll simply copy this column. I'll copy this, select the column and select this, type CO for copy, select the column and the hand railing, then just move them out a little bit. Remember to use a distance. Then I'll ungroup this, and then I'll simply trim against this line. Everything that's going past that line, just trim it out. Don't worry if you trim out the hedge. And then you can move this one like so. Delete all the hedges that are unnecessary. You'll have to ungroup it if you had grouped it earlier. And then you can trim out your lines. Now that in the last video I had shown you why it's really imperative that we use that we group one, and we hatch one and then copy the next. So this is the reason why I had said that earlier. I like to separate and work on my drawings so that they are neat and consistent, and they do not actually look bad. For some of you, this might be a tough method, so you can use your own, create an easy method to work on. Now, if you need to group this and you have already done everything, you don't need to fillet the edge with a 0 radius fillet. Then you can move this back into its place. And if you hadn't screwed up like I did, you could have moved the column and the uh, the hand railings together. If these are sticking out, just select them and move them inside. And then you can hitch your column back. One more thing that I see, that if you do not wish to do the hatch command, just select one of these, one of your hatches that you wish to bring there, copy, paste, click this one, select the hatch, bring it out like that, and then move it up to where you want to put it. If it's covering the outline, just do a DR and then send it back, like so. Then delete whatever is unnecessary. And before I delete, it will not be a viable option for me to put a culture tile in front and put something over here. So, I mean, put a paint over there. So what I'll do is I'll just match it with this. So I'll do MA for match, then press enter. Then select that one and bring it over here, like so. So now you have a neat and consistent elevation. Now that that is done, you can either bring down your windows and grids and other things, or you can complete this work simply by placing a step here. So I'll use a 260 mm long thread by 170 mm rise, and then I'll move this one into its place over here, like so. So that this 100 mm creates another step and you prevent water from coming onto the floor. Then what I'll do is simply type CO for copy and just copy and paste them so that they form a neat step. You can trim off the last step, or you can just adjust your rises. So for this case, I'll just trim off the last step. And as you can see, you have a step. You can put your hand railings, so you can't, it's up to you, it's a small step, I'm not even gonna bother. So bring in the wall color by typing H for H, then clicking on settings, then click on the inherit properties tab, and type DR for draw order and send it back into its place, like so. Then now that you have completed the elevation, and what you can do is simply just bring this down so that your building actually looks, so that your elevations actually look neat. Send this back. Now one thing we did not do is add our texts here. So what we'll do is simply select all the text that are there, make sure that this is in line with this. Type CO for copy, select anywhere outside, or you can select inside, and just move it in there like so. I put it at the bottom of the window here because the FISA board is slightly covering it. Then I'll move this window up like so. And there you go, neat and consistent. Window 2 matches with window 2, window 3 matches with window number 3. Okay, one more thing that we had to do here is to place the downpipe. So what I'll do is just go to one of the downpipes that I had drawn earlier, type CO for copy, and just bring a downpipe and place it at the end over here, like so. So I'll put one here. That's not the actual location, I'll just click it there for now. And if this is not right, what we can do is simply move this out into the open. Draw yourself a reference polyline. Ungroup this and just extend it to the polyline. Like so. Click your edge. At times what happens is when you click on this and you move this mouse quickly outwards, it actually shifts its location, so I had to rectify that. Then I'll click on the edge and bring it down using the middle hot grip. Then I'll send this back, delete this and group this. Oops, not 9, sorry, it should be a group. Oh, I have already done the group. Now over here, what I'll need to do is simply do a rectangle REC from this diagonal to over here, and then I'll just move it up. So I enter my distance as 13,400 and press tab, or you don't have to actually, it's already entered the distance. You can just enter a distance of 150 and press enter. And that is the outline of my gutter. So I'll select this, then I'll select this polyline, copy them, move them up, click on this edge and simply bring it down and match it with this line over here. Then select this, type DR for draw order and send this line back. Then what I'll do, I'll just delete this and I'll change this color to a 255 white. DR and then send it back. Select and then do G for group, then press enter. Click over here, click on move. And paste it over here. If that one actually hides, what you can do is click on this edge, type DR for draw order, and then send this edge back. Then you get it. If your wall is covering it, then you select both the faisa board and the gutter, type DR for draw order, click there, and click on front. Next, we'll move this inwards toward the designated location, and again, if this downpipe is being covered by this edge, you'll just click on the downpipe, type DR for draw order, press enter, and then click on front. Just make another copy. And put this one over here. And then I'll make another copy. Do M2P mirror to point command. It's a long roof, so I'm using 3 downpipes. Click here, M2P. There. And there. So you get 3 downpipes. Now, the next thing that I'll do is I'll select one of these and I'll type CO for copy, press enter, and just move this one out slightly towards this outside, so that this will resemble our terminal vent. Now, terminal vent is basically a breather for a washroom outlet to keep all the bad smell out again, and for breathing, to make flushing very easy. I think my laptop is a bit stuck, so I'll just wait for it to unfreeze. I'll move my terminal vent that I just created out slightly. And remember, this terminal vent should be sticking out 400 mm above wherever it penetrates from. So I'll just select this, then I'll ungroup. Again, the laptop is frozen. And then I'll click both the, I'll select both the lines, and then I'll do an offset of 500 mm. I'll pull it out in entire distance of 500 mm. Let me just repeat that process. Bring out the line, then entire distance of 500 mm. Press enter. Now there seems to be some kind of error here which I'll need to sort out. Now I'll do, since if you can't get it to work one way, use the other way. So I'm drawing the next line, and that is for the extension of 500 mm that I had said. Then select both the lines, and then an extension plane, then type EXTEND for extend. I must apologize for the technical error. Then once it's extended, we will select this H and just move it up over here like so. Click on this line and delete it. And then we'll move this line back into its place. I'll just mirror it to point in between these two walls, these two windows. And there you go, it's getting a nice 500 mm stick out. If it does not show up, what you can do is do a DR for draw order, and then click on front. Now that's all the time that we have for this video. In part 3 of this video, I will show you how to actually add your keys to it and how to plot and publish to determine the actual scale. Thank you very much. Good night.